Hi there, and welcome to another nerdy review. I'm the Absolute Nerd, and today I'll be reviewing the US release of Bandai's Digimon X Digivice. Now, before I begin, I would like to kindly ask you if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below on your thoughts and opinions on the new Digivice or my opinions on it. That said, let's start this review. Back in 2019, Bandai re-released the 20th anniversary Digimon Digivices internationally, and with that release, it reinvigorated the demand and request for more Digimon virtual pets internationally. Now, Bandai finally released internationally what is considered the ultimate Digivice, Digimon X. This virtual pet Digivice was originally released in Japan back in 2017 and brought back familiar features from previous Digivices while incorporating new features as well. The US and international Digimon X Digivice was just recently released on July 15th of 2021 with 4 different colors to pick from: white and blue, black and red, green and blue, and purple and red. The packaging is similar to the 20th anniversary, albeit with a different artwork and style. For collectors, it still has a really nice appeal and look to it. The Digivice itself is basically the same shell and chain length from the 20th anniversary. There is, however, a slight change in difference in the background screens, depending on the color you select. The white and blue and green and blue feature a ruins-esque background, whereas the black and red and purple and red feature a desert with dead trees in the background. The main screen HUD has the same placement for the option icons. The 3 basic buttons referred to as A, B, and C have their same functions: A for cycling options, B to accept, and C to cancel. A fun new feature for the Digimon X regarding the C button: if you press the C button on the main screen, it does allow you to immediately access your Digimon's stats. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Digivices, here's a quick breakdown of these options. The health icon allows you to check the status of your Digimon. The feed icon allows you to feed your Digimon. The train icon allows you to train your Digimon. The quest battle icon allows you to go on quests with your Digimon to fight other Digimon. The flush icon allows you to flush their waste. The lights icon allows you to put your Digimon to sleep. The medical attention icon allows you to treat your Digimon. The album icon allows you to store Digimon, review previous Digimon you had raised, and review battle stats. The connection icon allows you to battle other Digivices. And the alert icon, which you don't actually have access to, alerts you to your Digimon's immediate needs. Now, one of the newer and bigger features for the Digimon X Digivices is the Zai System, which was originally introduced in the Digimon Pendulum X Digivice. This is a dice-based system that helps determine a few things, such as random encounters for your Digimon when they are idle, speed of your Digimon's attack gauge, and strength and moves in battle. This system is engaged in 2 different ways. When your Digimon wakes up every day, there's a random time the Zai System engages. This particular one affects random encounters and the training speed for the day. The second one is whenever you do quest battles, you will roll the Zai System dice to determine the speed of the gauge and the strength and moves your Digimon will have in that fight. Personally, I thought this was a bit gimmicky at first, but it does alternate and change a lot of the gameplay in some fun and less painful ways. Previously, and depending on the mode of battle of single or tag, you would either have to mash the A button and or have a meter to time the hit, and then you would mash the A button. With Digimon X, you basically do training and battles with one button that doesn't require you to go crazy on all the little buttons you have. It just requires you to have good timing. Now, after completing the dice roll, a meter appears where you then will have to time your button hit for the highest peak, for your Digimon to do the most damage and have some really cool flashy attacks. For me, I got small hands, and the previous button mashing can give me a bit of a hand cramp because the device is relatively small and so are the buttons. I can't imagine what it'd be like to be a person with larger hands trying to mash those small tiny buttons on this tiny little device. And I definitely can imagine kids potentially destroying the buttons or the screen itself if they're not careful and just crazily mashing the button. So those are some definite pluses in my book. But I can see the negatives too. It's not too interactive, and some people do enjoy the button mashing. I know I do from time to time. I just don't appreciate the hand cramps. But you also have to be really good at timing those button hits to get the maximum potential. I am not super great at timing like that, and I can see that how others might not enjoy this as well. Aside from the Zai System, the Digimon X also brings quest battles. It's similar to the Coliseum or battles in the 20th anniversary. The twist here is more about the pathway and evolution purposes. When doing quest battles, you select a stage to progress with your Digimon to defeat a boss. If you fail at any point, you'll have to restart again, and if you beat the boss, you'll be given an item that you can use later on. Each battle provides experience points that help your Digimon level up akin to an RPG. Additionally, there are evolution requirements that will have you needing to beat specific stages or exceed a number of stages in order for your Digimon to digivolve. Speaking of Digimon evolutions, Digimon X is a disappointment here with the lack of Digimon overall. Unlike the whopping 134 Digimon available in the 20th anniversary, Digimon X only has 30 Digimon to acquire. So for those who want to go in that Pokemon route of collecting them all, there isn't much to collect in this version. The other thing, like different versions of Pokemon games, each device has a different roster to pick from. These rosters are broken up into two tables. The black and red and purple and red version has access to the first roster. The white and blue and green and blue has access to the second roster. Unfortunately, you cannot copy or unlock the first roster into the second roster and then vice versa. So you are locked into the roster depending on the Digivice you select. There are some positive caveats here. I look at this as more of a cost-effective move. If you don't already have a friend or a family member that has a Digivice, you don't have to go out and buy another Digivice to unlock all these other Digimon and their eggs. There is, however, one final evolution that does require another Digimon X from an opposite roster that you have to unlock this particular evolution. But with that exception, you don't require another Digivice to copy or battle to unlock majority of the other evolutions. Most of the evolutions are locked behind stages, which you would unlock through normal gameplay and normal evolution requirements like care mistakes and training. Even though the rosters are locked to specific Digivices, the difference of the Digimon in the two rosters isn't that huge. I only counted 11 Digimon between the two rosters that are different and mostly cosmetic in my opinion. Thus, with the exception of the one Digimon you need another Digivice to unlock, you can access the whole entire roster available to Digimon X without having to spend extra money and time on another Digivice. Lastly, because of the lower roster and the freeze function, which I will be discussing in a little bit, your Digimon's evolution timers are increased, so there is some time between each evolution. If you ask me, I kinda like it with the limited roster. I get to spend more time with each Digimon form, and I get to play more in the quest battle with them. Don't get me wrong though, if I'm in a rush towards a Super Ultimate form, I totally understand those who are wanting to get or have a faster time frame. But Digimon X allows you to have more of a gaming experience, which I find is a lot more fun. Now when it comes to death for a Digimon, you actually have a chance to save it from death. You can do this by mashing the A and B buttons during the death animation and sounds. If you hit the buttons a total of 100 times, you can revive it. However, I cannot confirm if you can do this revival method multiple times through your Digimon's life, so I do advise you to tread carefully and treat your Digimon right. Another quality of life change I noticed is the rate at which your Digimon's hunger and strength meters decrease alongside with their need to have their waste being cleaned. All of that has been decreased to a very manageable time frame that doesn't require you to constantly look at your Digivice to ensure your Digimon isn't starving or drowning in their own waste. This is a sigh of relief to me, to be honest. Pair this with the freeze function, it makes it such an amazing quality of life change that allows you to be able to mitigate time between when you need to take care of your Digimon and not interfering too much with your real life ordeals. Aside from these changes, I do want to mention some other changes regarding the icons themselves. The feed icon houses items you collect from the stage completions, and these items you can feed to your Digimon to help boost them in quest battles, like having extra HP or an increased strength. The only downside is that they are one-time use and temporary buffs. I couldn't confirm if they stack with each other, as if you feed your Digimon extra HP and extra strength, do they go along with each other, or it takes over one or the other. I couldn't confirm that, but it's nice to know that you can still at least buff your Digimon for these battles. The training icon now features two options, normal and excite. The only difference between the two is excite is based off the first Zai roll of the day, determining the meter's speed and fills more strength. Both options still require you to do 4 training in order to gain an effort heart for your Digimon. The flush icon does a different animation I'm not entirely crazy over. It looks like I am flushing my Digimon alongside with its waist rather than just flushing the waist by itself. So, there you have it. I'm not too much of a fan of that one. The lights option now has an additional function to freeze your Digimon. This is an amazing quality of life change here. During the day and not when your Digimon is sleepy, you can actually turn off the lights and put your Digimon on freeze, halting the loss of their hunger and strength meters. This is an incredibly awesome option for those who are constantly busy and don't have time to really focus on their Digimon's immediate needs. The only downside is that while you have your Digimon on freeze, the evolution timer is stopped as well. Oh, and just to clear this up too, unlike the 20th anniversary, sleep time is counted towards your Digimon's evolution timer, so that's really cool in saving time and helping your Digimon evolve. And then the last one here I want to address, and it's regarding what you could see on the box, which is a little bit misleading, where it says you can train 3 Digimon. Let me clarify that a bit. The album icon allows you now to store or back up 2 Digimon and keep a third one out. Technically, you can train 3 different Digimon, just not at the same time. Know that if you put any of the Digimon in the backup server, it's just like the freezer system. They won't lose any hunger or strength, but they won't digivolve either, or any of the time spent there won't count towards their evolution. Overall, I'm really liking the Digimon X Digivice. Compared to the 20th anniversary Digivice, Digimon X has a lot of new functions and features while improving on quality of life for the game. Even though it sports a smaller roster of Digimon to digivolve to, this Digivice focuses more on the gameplay, making it a much more enjoyable experience to train and raise your Digimon towards evolutions you desire, and not making that experience feel like a grind. The Digimon X Digivice is a fun virtual pet for kids to play with, and adults to explore or relive the nostalgia. I definitely recommend checking this out. Bandai's Digimon X Digivice gets a solid 4 out of 5. That said, if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this, and leave a comment down below about your thoughts and opinions about the new Digivice or my opinions on the Digivice itself. I do want to thank you for watching, and until the next review, I'll see you next time. Take care.